What's up YouTube? John62491 here with some Battlefield 3 Endgame DLC gameplay and commentary for you guys today. This video is going to be somewhat of a first impressions and initial thoughts on the new DLC. However, it is going to be primarily focused on the new CTF Capture the Flag game mode, because that has been what I've played the most of so far, because I find it very fast paced and in most scenarios really enjoyable, but I've got some mixed feelings on it, and I'll go ahead and get into that in the commentary. However, before I do that, I would like to give a shout out to a fellow YouTuber as well as Xbox 360 Battlefield 3 player who goes by the name of the Chewy219. I'll post a link to his channel in the description below, guys. Definitely go ahead and drop by, check out his content. If you enjoy it, leave a like. If you'd like to see some more from him, make sure you guys subscribe. I'll also post a link to his most recent video in my description below, because it is about maximizing your XP, and it's just in time for the Double XP weekend coming up. However, he talks about some tips in that video that I thought were common knowledge amongst Battlefield players. However, I noticed as he was talking about them, I find nobody on my team hardly ever does it. I'm like the only one running around doing it, me or the people in my squad, so definitely check it out. It's got some useful tips. Great quality. I'll post a link to it. Check it out, guys. So let's go ahead and actually get into my thoughts on the DLC, alright? Endgame. So I'm gonna break it up into a couple different sections, and I'll talk about both the good and the bad. So let's talk about visuals first. All four maps look amazing. They are without a doubt some of the best looking maps in Battlefield 3 in my opinion. The snow map is The snow looks absolutely amazing. It looks so good, and it reminds me so much of the snow maps in Bad Company 2. I really enjoy just riding around on a dirt bike in the snow on that map. It looks so amazing. Kaiser Railroad has to be my favorite map. I feel like I said railroad. That's okay, it doesn't matter. Kaiser Railroad has definitely got to be my favorite map so far out of the DLC maps. When I'm playing in that map, I'm running around, I almost feel like I need to pick some of the flowers to make like an alchemical potion like I'm in Skyrim. That's how beautiful it looks. I feel like I forget I'm in war sometimes, but Kaiser Railroad looks amazing. All of the maps look amazing. Visually, DICE has outdone themselves so far with this DLC. I think it's the best looking one so far. I think they did a really good job dropping off with there's no extreme blue tint on any of the maps. There's no crazy orange tints like what we got in Aftermath. I think they just kind of relaxed on like that little tint, and they just kind of made the maps just look great visually. So visually, the DLC is awesome. Obviously, Battlefield 3 has incredible audio. You can't really complain about that. My only complaint about the audio from the Endgame DLC is sometimes when you get on a dirt bike, you'll start riding it, and you won't even hear the engine cut in until like 30 seconds after you've been on the dirt bike, after you've like rode a mile up the road. So it's not a big problem, it's just you notice it, and it's just like, well, what the hell, like why doesn't my dirt bike work for 30 seconds after I get on? That's my only complaint about audio, and it's not a big problem. So besides audio and visuals, the map layout, I think, is great. I think these maps are some of the perfectly sized maps for playing on the Xbox, for having 24 people in a server. It's pretty balanced how big the maps are and how much size is basically placed for each team to, you know, control. It's really, I think it's a really balanced, really evenly balanced landscape distributed amongst the both teams. I think they did a really good job about that with this DLC in particular on each map. However, with CTF, it can get really campy at times where people won't even leave their deployment with the AAs or with the tank or with the chopper. They'll just basically hover right over their deployment, right over the flag, which is Capture the Flag. It can be really fun, and that's basically what it comes down to. It depends on who you're playing with. If you're playing with two teams who are essentially rushing each other's bases and trying to get the flags and are actively PTFOing and going for the flag the whole time, it can make for some really fast-paced, really fun gameplay. But that happens about half the time, and then the other half you get some of the campiest, most boring gameplay I've ever experienced in Battlefield, which is, like I said, people just sitting in their deployment or right on top of their flag with all of their artillery vehicles, not even utilizing dirt bikes, like 1 or 2 people, like one squad of 2 guys on the team. Those poor 2 guys are riding around on the only dirt bike on their team, just getting owned every time by everyone else in our team who's like trying to rush their flag. It gets campy like that sometimes, and it can suck, but other than that, Capture the Flag is one of my favorite game modes in Battlefield. When you have a good mix between the 2 teams and everyone's PTFOing and actively going for the flag, it's extremely fast-paced. There's always something going on, there's always something for you to do, because as soon as you score, it resets. So like that's the thing that's nice about CTF, is it's constantly fast-paced action, and like I said, if your teammates and your enemy team is actually playing that way. So that's basically all I have to say about the maps and CTF. The last thing I'd like to talk about is the vehicles. Holy shit. The dirt bikes are freaking awesome. They are undoubtedly the most fun vehicle in the game, and they basically make up for all of the other shortcomings of this DLC, because I can have so much fun alone or with a teammate, just 2 of us riding around on dirt bikes, chasing enemies, racing friendlies, riding around the map, not even if our teammates aren't PTFOing and we know we're gonna lose or we're getting owned or something, it's just like, hey, let's just get on dirt bikes and race around the map and like try and find jumps and stuff. The dirt bikes are an awesome expansion on this game. I absolutely love them. And that's about it. The AAs, they're okay. It kind of sucks that they can just own ground vehicles so quick, because they're supposed to be AAs, mobile AAs, but they own ground vehicles even harder, I think, or as equally well as they do with the aerial vehicles. And it can get kind of lame with having the attack choppers and the scout choppers, because if they hover over your base and they just own you guys when you spawn, that can get really lame. But, like I said, basically, with any game type or any map in Battlefield, it really does come down to your team and the enemy team and the community of gamers that are in that round. Who are you playing with? Who are you playing against? If you have good teams, both actively PTFOing, a competitive enemy team and a competitive friendly team, this is one of the most fun, I think it is the most fun DLC to date, and I've only really played CTF. I haven't really gotten into air superiority at all, and even though I've played on all 4 maps quite a bit, I really haven't played Conquest or Rush on them at all, and I'm really looking forward to doing that, because like I said, the maps are amazing looking, they're so beautiful, and I hate to say this because I think of myself as a pretty hardened soldier in Battlefield, like a good warrior in the game, but sometimes in these new maps, I just stop shooting and end up looking around like dazed and confused at like how good the graphics look, and it just makes me excited for the next consoles and for Battlefield 4, so I think that about wraps it up for this commentary, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've stayed for this long, go ahead and leave a like. If you haven't subscribed already and you're here, please go ahead and subscribe. All the support really helps me out, you guys. And like I said, make sure you guys check out the Chewy219's channel, because he has a really good video on maximizing XP and just how to be a better Battlefield player. So, with that in mind, peace, guys. I'll see you in the next one. And the last thing I would like to talk about is, if you are playing Capture the Flag, make sure you watch out for mines, even if you don't hit them. Like that one right there. Like, I know I did not hit that mine. Good for you, level 31, just chilling up at the top of that peak. I did not even hit that mine and it blew me up. Watch it back, I didn't hit it. And the last thing I'll say is, watch out for DICE trolling you with shit like this. Seriously? Come on, DICE, like what the fuck? I spawn, I get on a dirt bike, it blows up, bad luck. Peace, Cholos.